Hi, in this video, I'm gonna give you my 5 top tips for mixing colors. Hi, welcome to Paint Coach. I'm Chris Fornatero here to help simplify oil paint so you can get better faster. All right, color is a very big topic. I could make endless videos on color, get into the details of everything, but I'm gonna keep things simple and just give you my 5 top tips that I think will help you improve your color mixing. Number 1 is we're going to simplify, and I only want you to use the 3 primary colors in white. This is very helpful for beginners. So just using these 3 basic colors in white, especially when you're starting out, it will give you a stronger foundation of color and understanding it, because you'll have to work to get to certain colors instead of just having 15 colors out of the tube on your palette and you're just, oh, I want this shade of green, boom, I got it right there. This shade of blue, I got it right there. You will learn how you get those. And for me at least, like, I've never really took a class on color, had anybody really explain color to me, but I just started out for a very, very long time, just used the basic primary colors, and color is very instinctual to me. I feel like I do a decent job at it, especially for never having, someone sit down with me and, go over, intense color theory and take classes on it and all that stuff, just because I have an inherent sense of the color. Could I learn a lot more? Yes, absolutely. But just having that basic sense of the primaries in white will help you so much. And the basic primaries that I use is Ultramarine Blue, Cadmium Red, Cadmium Lemon, and Titanium White. I got links to where you can buy all those on Amazon for very cheap in the description below. All right, tip number 2, don't use black. I know there are a lot of artists out there that use black. There's the whole Zorn's palette and all that use black. I'm not saying that using black is bad. I'm saying for when you're starting out, to keep things simple and just not slip into bad habits like adding black to just darken everything, because a lot of people end up doing that. I see that a lot with beginner painters work. I can tell that to darken every color, they just put black in it to darken it, and your paints end up kind of gray. And also people tend to almost get in an outlining type thing, like as if they're drawing comic books or something, and they'll use that black just straight out of the tube to just kind of get these really, really dark darks, and it just ends up being flat because you're not mixing a really dark color using the other colors. You're just going straight for that black. So I would stay away from it when you're starting out, just to help you get a better sense of colors and how to darken and lighten colors. All right, tip number 3 is don't worry about being unorganized on your palette. A lot of organized people will try and, as they're mixing colors, mix one color, and then they have time to mix another color, and they'll put it all on the other side of the palette, and they'll mix another color, and they're just keeping all their colors separate. If you look at my palette, it is just, everything's mixing into another. I'm using one color that I mixed to start a new color. I'm branching off from other colors to get what I need. I feel that helps give you a color harmony. This isn't to be confused with laying out your palette, with your paints dark light, because that does help, and it does keep you in check of values and where you are. Also, there's a lot of artists that teach, they'll have all their dark colors here, and as they're mixing all their colors, it gets lighter and lighter and lighter across their palette. That way they kind of know where they are. That's very helpful. I don't tend to do that too much, but I'm not really speaking about that in terms of like laying out your paints, as much as not being afraid to mix colors from other colors. Just because you have a blue and you're trying to get to, say, a green, you don't need to start a whole new pile with fresh paint out of the tubes. So start with that blue that you mix, that unique blue that you already have that's not out of the tube, and start from there and try and reach the color that you're trying to get to through that. That way there's some of that color that's already in your painting in this new color that you're trying to mix. So I guess what I'm trying to say is don't be afraid to have your colors all mixing together on your palette. All right, tip number 4 is check your colors. You can do this by getting a palette knife or your brush, getting some paint on your brush, holding it up to your reference photo and checking the colors. Doing this not only will allow you to compare side by side to your reference photo, making sure you have the right colors, but it also forces you to isolate colors. It's very easy to get confused when you're looking at a reference photo of like, oh, what color is that? How do I get to that color? You know, a lot of times I feel like lighter grays or very neutral colors. People have a little hard time even knowing where to begin to mix that color because it's not like a definite blue. It's not a definite, you know, red. It's, you know, these kind of mid-tone, grayish, cream color. A lot of times that people get stuck in with that. The key is to just isolate the color and not look at everything else and just be like, okay, just that color, as if you had one of those little paint cards from Home Depot with a little paint on it, and just, all right, how do I get that color? And using your brush to compare your colors will help you with that. If you really want to get detailed with it, a lot of times people will put their reference photo in a plastic sleeve, and that way they can actually paint on top of the photo without messing up the photo. So they can actually, you know, make a little mark of paint next to, you know, the area that they're trying to match and get the right color. So that is a very good way to make sure you get the right colors, just constantly comparing. Hopefully in time you'll get to the point where you won't need to do that. You'll be able to just do it with your eyes. But when you're starting out, being able to do that is very helpful to nail the right colors. All right, number 5, this is very basic, but I feel like it's very important. It's the one that you use every single time you paint, is know your complement colors. Complement of red is green, the complement of blue is orange, complement of yellow is purple. I feel like I'm always going back to these because this is how I lighten and darken colors. Like if I'm painting a sunflower and it's got the yellow petals, and part of the petals are in the shade and they're gonna be darker, I know to darken that I'm gonna need some form of purple. Like, so I already know the general direction I need to go to add to that yellow paint to put it in the shadows. Now sometimes it'll be a little more blue, sometimes it'll be a little more red, depending on the light and everything, if there's other colors reflecting into it. But in general sense, if I have, you know, something green, a lot of times this is, you know, trees, grasses and stuff like that, and you need to darken it, you're gonna need to add some red. Also, this is with desaturating. You never just wanna use a straight green out of the tube most of the time when you're painting trees or anything in nature, pretty much anything. And so in order to neutralize that, to get it looking more natural, not so vibrant of a green, you're gonna wanna add its complement. You know, this goes for everything. You have a blue ocean, you're not gonna use, you know, ultramarine right out of the tube most of the time. You're gonna wanna neutralize it just a little bit with some orange. And it's not necessarily just gonna be straight orange, straight blue. You know, there's different forms of orange. There's, you know, burnt sienna, you know, other colors that are similar to that. I've seen artists that slightly desaturate their sky so it's not so vibrant. They'll have their cerulean blue, but then they'll add just a touch of burnt sienna to it to just give it, you know, just not such a vibrant, more realistic color of a blue. So that's a big thing, is just really know your complements. Always refer to those to darken your colors, to desaturate your colors, because that's going to help a lot. All right, those are my 5 top tips for mixing colors. Probably make a video later on with some more tips on mixing colors. These aren't the only ones. These are just the ones that I feel will help you the most, the quickest. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at 4is43, see what I'm painting on a daily basis. If there's other questions that you have about oil painting topics that you aren't seeing covered in videos, please let me know in the comment section and I will address those in a later video. I am Chris Fornatero here telling you to go get painting.